Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Elizabeth Wamberg. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new here. Today we have a new moon. Woo! New moon in Gemini. So today's pick a card reading is about calling in new energy. It's about setting intentions for the next lunar cycle, asking for things you want, just being very intentional about getting clear about your needs and desires and what you want to call in. This is a timeless reading, so if you're watching this when it is not the new moon, there's probably a message in here for you if you felt called to watch this reading. So please go ahead and take a moment. I inserted a picture of the 4 groups, so go ahead and take a moment and just pick which one resonates for you. You can pick by the colors on the card, by the words on the card, by the number, any of that. And all the timestamps are below, and I will see you at the reading that you chose. Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 1. So you picked the card True Love. How nice. Okay, your wholeness and safety lie within, not from a partner. But this sovereignty actually leads to the deepest intimacy for you to stop using others. Let me stand on my own feet, dear Lord, and know true love. Okay, so for this new moon, maybe if you are in a relationship, maybe this is a message for you to think about, what am I expecting my partner or partners to give to me that maybe I can tap into myself for, or tap into my connection with God for. That maybe you want to reflect on about that, and maybe asking new energy coming in for you. If you're not in a relationship, maybe you can go through and get clear about the ways that maybe you might be expecting a relationship to save you once you find one, or once you find your person. Maybe what are the subconscious ways that you're expecting them to fill a void for you, because this card is just a little reminder that your wholeness lies within, not from a partner, right? So relationships are amazing. They have so much to our lives. They're definitely a wonderful part of the human experience, but if you're expecting that person to do something for you that they can't, no good. So just a little, if this resonated with you somewhere, that might be something to think about for this new moon when you're calling in new energy. So again, just a reminder, new moons are about new, I'm gonna say the word new again, new energy. And so just being mindful of what you might be expecting from someone else. And then instead being like, okay, how can I give that to myself? Okay, so like usual, I'm going to start with your tarot, and then at the end, we'll clarify with your oracle cards. Okay, so first we have Ace of Wands, nice opening, Page of Wands, 2 wands in a row, Wheel of Fortune, Temperance, 9 of Pentacles, the Tower, and Queen of Wands. Okay, let's make a little room. I didn't space these out the best. Okay, so yeah, I think with this group, we got Ace of Wands, Page of Wands right in a row. So what I'm feeling like with this reading is, if you have been waiting for a really long time for something to happen, or for things to fall in place, this is kind of like the theme of what's going on with this group. The theme of your reading, the middle of your reading, is temperance. So that means everyone's favorite thing, which is just be patient and wait, which I know is very annoying for a lot of us, but that is the theme of this reading. And so going back to the beginning, what I was saying, Ace of Wands and Page of Wands. So both of these are about new beginnings. They're about new energy coming in. This is about like maybe the initial idea of like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is something new. This is clarity for me. This is what I want to be doing. And then going right into the Page of Wands. Oops. The Page of Wands is, again, more of that wand energy of action, of newness, of something coming in, and maybe just like a little bit more advanced than the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is like the initial thought and progress. And then the Page of Wands is like, okay, now what can I do beyond that, and what's the next step beyond that? And so I feel like with this new moon, you all are in the middle of whatever you've been wanting to have happen in your life, job wise, career wise, maybe something with your health, with your body, with a relationship, with however it's resonating for you. I feel like you know what to do and you've started taking action. And then this Wheel of Fortune right into the Temperance, so 2 major arcana cards right in a row. I feel like Wheel of Fortune is about karma. So it's about like what you put out, like things keep turning, things are going to come back around again. So maybe you're still in some of the initial, you haven't like reaped what you haven't sown what you wanted to reap yet. What? Do you get what I'm saying? You haven't had the outcome you want from the action you've been putting in, is what I'm trying to say. And so the Wheel of Fortune is about fated changes. It's about the wheels keep spinning. It's about karma does come back around. It's about what is for you cannot miss you. And so I feel like this reminder of that is about divine compensation, right? Divine compensation reminds us that even if we feel like, oh my God, like I'm not getting this exact thing for this exact thing, divine compensation reminds us that like God keeps perfect books for us. And so as long as you are showing up with integrity and kindness and sincerity, like that is not going to go unnoticed by universal law and by God and by our higher powers. And so this is saying like everything is accounted for, even if it doesn't show up in the exact this for that way that our like ego minds and human minds want it to be. And so when we go into temperance, that is about just being patient, right? That is about like you seeing this, she's pouring the cups from one to the other. So it can be about like a waiting game a little bit. It can be about you know, just waiting, unfortunately. I mean, or fortunately, you know. So it just can be about knowing that you are being guided. There is this timing that is on purpose for you. There are things that are happening for you, even if you can't see them. And I think, you know, again, with these two things right in a row, it's just reminding you that there are things at play here that we can't see. And sometimes like the timing that we think is best isn't actually for the best because of things that we can't see or we're not sure of, or like might not feel the best like in our own interests, right? So there's things that are happening behind the scenes for the thing that we're waiting for. That needs to also be a vibrational match for us to like come into alignment with it, right? So this is about being patient and honoring the process and things that need to happen, even if we can't see what they are, or we think, well, I'm ready, so where's this thing that I'm waiting for, right? This is also about, I think, as you're moving through this, and we have this Ace of Wands and Page of Wands, is making sure that you're being responsible for yourself and your own energy. And you know, a lot of times we can be like, I want this thing, and where is it? But the truth is, if it walks through the door right now, or we got an email or a phone call about it tomorrow, we wouldn't actually be a match. We wouldn't be ready for it. And so I think this is saying, as the cycles continue to turn, as things continue to keep moving forward, just you can be patient, but you can also like own your energy and show that you are ready for this thing that you say you're asking for. And it is going to be about being responsible for yourself in the ways that you need to show up for yourself and like clean up your side of the street and do your things to make that happen. Because what I'm seeing is what comes after that is the Nine of Pentacles, which just look at this in a row. Very beautiful, beautiful. And then it's over here now. But okay. So Nine of Pentacles is like a lot of fulfillment, a lot of abundance. Pentacles is about abundance. And this card, of course, is about like material abundance, but it's also like abundance is like more of a mind state and a bandwidth. And then that, once we tap into that energy, it makes it easier for us to connect to that in physical reality. Because everything starts as energy and then just extends outward. And so with this, we see we have Nine of Pentacles. So I think this build up with all this stuff can just remind you that like there is, you know, this isn't the Ten of Pentacles. It's not the King of Pentacles, right? It's not like the high up, totally end of it. But I feel like this is just reminding us that you do have abundance right now. You do have things in your life right now that maybe you didn't have before, that maybe you used to wait for before, or you felt like, okay, I've been waiting for so long. Where is it? What's going on? Blah, 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 right? So you've been waiting so long for all this stuff and for some of the things you have now. And so remembering to like have gratitude for those things, and don't forget how much you have accomplished while you are waiting for this other thing to come in. I feel like because this card, the card on top was true love, this might have to do with relationship stuff. So it could be that you want your existing relationship to get to a new level, or have something change within it, or it could be that you're waiting for your person or persons to come in. And so, but if that doesn't resonate, again, it's just a general reading. So whatever's coming up for that. And then I think this is really interesting. So we have some abundance, we have, you know, these things going on, all of that. And then we go right into the Tower, which the Tower is, you know, burn it down because something new is coming in, right? A lot of times also when we think about being responsible for ourselves, we also have to think about the ways that, you know, sometimes we want something new, but in order for something new to come, what we currently have has to like blow up and get destroyed, right? There can't be space for something to come, like unless some of that space is moved out. And so I don't think, I mean, this, people are afraid of this card, but I think it's very helpful and healthy. And I think it's a good reminder to be like, okay, if I'm waiting for example, like a new job or this new thing, a new job to come in, right? It's like, is my resume ready? Is this ready? Am I ready for this? If I'm going to move, am I ready to do all of that, right? So I think this is saying what things you need to like burn down and get rid of so that this thing that you do want to come in can have more space and energy to come in for you there, and just kind of like, you know, you need, this is a way to remind us that like sometimes, yes, external forces come and make us move so we can grow and change and all of that, but sometimes it is up to us to, you know, burn our own towers down and kind of like get rid of some things that might be blocking us. Because we end your reading, this is so beautiful, Queen of Wands. And remember, again, the beginning was Ace of Wands, so this is like a beautiful progression. So Queen of Wands here, I feel like, you know, as long as you are showing some gratitude and have some awareness around these are the things in my life that are currently working for me or that I am grateful for, or this is a way I can show myself that I have done this process before of like identifying what I want and then going through it. And then the tower of things just being like, okay, well, that has to go, or this is done now, or this isn't like the thing that's for me, right? And then going into this Queen of Wands, you know, just even more like you're going to get to the next level with it. So I think this is just saying, trust the process, basically. You know, this is just part of life. And, you know, if we can make things immediately be how we wanted and we didn't have to learn anything, we didn't have to do anything with them, right? There'd be no point in being on earth, right? So the saying, there is no arrival, right? So there is no arrival to, we don't just get something and then we're like, did it, done, the end. It's the end of the human experience, right? It's all about growth. It's about progression. It's about going through all these stages of things so that we can continue to grow on the soul level and the spiritual level, like while we are here on earth. Okay, so the oracle cards. Okay, I picked a lot. I just felt like it with this. I felt like we want a lot of new energy with this new moon, so we'll just go through more. Okay, so first, manifest. So this is exactly what we're talking about. This is the theme. I have my lights on today because it's overcast, so I don't know if you can see this, but manifest. Okay, so again, the theme of this reading is just like, sometimes manifest is like a little, I get a little annoyed by that word sometimes, but it is about just knowing that like you can control more than you think you can, and that's the key of like having the life you want, right? Sometimes we get so focused on, okay, well, what is this person doing? What's that doing? Why isn't this happening? Why isn't this happening? That we can ignore a lot of the things we have access to be able to do that. So I think when you're going through this process, sometimes it can be really easy to focus on like, well, that's really frustrating, or this is annoying, or why isn't that happening, right? That can be easy to focus on. But when you really want to create something in your life or have this new energy, you have to find the ways that you might be blocking your own energy or not being totally in touch with your own self to move forward with that. And going along with that, we have energy flows where my intention goes. So I think, again, just what we're saying here, just reiterating it again, like don't get so caught up in, well, they're not doing this, or they're being like this, or this thing is like this, right? So this is just saying, okay, if my intention is to do that, and this person or this thing or this whatever isn't happening, how can I tap into myself and be like, okay, well, putting my energy there is like hitting a brick wall. It's not helping me. So where can I put my energy so it can be, you know, better utilized for myself? My life force can be put somewhere that is actually helpful for me at this time. Because we have purification, the white rose. So by purifying your life of negative people, places, and experiences, you attain true peace. This one's really shiny. So, okay, so this is exactly what I'm talking about with this, with the tower, right? So this is exactly what I'm talking about with like, you have to purify your life of negative people, places, and experiences. So what can you got to cut the crap. You got to clear the crap out. You got to get rid of it. Sometimes it means like ending a relationship or setting boundaries. Like, we cannot talk about this in my relationship with you, or no, you can't comment on my career choice, or, you know, whatever, how it resonates for you. But this is about purification. This is about, so shiny. This is about making sure that things aren't being activated that aren't only for your highest good, or, you know, energy flows where your intention goes. Because look at this card. My happiness is my greatest gift to others. Okay, so this is just saying, again, what I was talking about when there is no arrival, it's like sometimes we get so focused on, you know, the when I have, so when I have this, then I'll feel better. When I have that, when I have this, right? But the truth is, if we look at my happiness is my greatest gift to others, when we are in alignment and peaceful, just think about how much better it feels being around someone like that versus someone who just like projects all the time, who spews the energy everywhere, who just has like no boundaries with anything, right? So when you're going through this process, I think this is just a good reminder to, you know, seek your own happiness, your own peace, your own whatever. And this is what I was talking about with temperance, right? Of just knowing that like it's up to you to how you manage your energy while you're waiting something. It is waiting for something. That is part of your own energy management. Okay, and then the last one we have is hair strength. So cute little hair with big ears. Okay, take time to make clear decisions, bring awareness and light to the situation. So I think, again, maybe I felt some energy of frustration with this group when we were talking about like waiting and then the Wheel of Fortune and things are moving and but are they and how annoying and blah, 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 right? So I think this is just saying, take time to make clear decisions, bring awareness and light to the situation. Just remember that like you don't have to do it all on your own and you don't have to do it all in 5 seconds. So if you do need a little bit of time for things to happen, if you do need to wait and see what happens, you know, just give yourself, tap on your own inner strength, your own ability. And I know, again, that can be annoying because like sometimes we don't want to be strong. We just want things to have happen for us, right? But this is just about saying, knowing you are strong, knowing you have the ability to manage your own energy while you're waiting and hold space for yourself and really honor that and not feel like, you know, you have to be 5 million level of amazingness when it's like sometimes, you know, being kind to yourself is what it means to be strong for that day. Sometimes setting a boundary is what it means to be strong. Sometimes, you know, crying is what it means to be strong. So just knowing that awareness and light, however that looks like for you, is like a way you can bring strength to this instead of just being like pushing yourself through to the point that you feel exhausted or annoyed or, you know, whatever is going on with that. So that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for spending your new moon with me. If you want more information about me, all that is linked below. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi everyone, welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 2. So you picked the group that has the card direction. So it looks like, Lord, please show me the right action right now. Please bring a sign and a miracle that gives me clear direction. May I hear the promptings of my own body, and if for some reason I'm about to head the wrong way, please stop me. Okay, so obviously there is something in you chose this group, consciously or subconsciously, there's something in you about some decision making or knowing where to go, which thing to choose, all of that. So just a reminder with this new moon, you can tap into that energy of like stillness with yourself, of guidance, of just bringing some awareness to yourself and knowing that like we can't choose wrong. Sometimes the ego likes to think that, right? But anything that is for us will come around to us one way or another, no matter what we choose. And so this is really just saying, you know, get still, get within your body. Just know that whatever feels like the right decision in your body, what feels more secure or resonates more, you know, might be the right decision for you with that. Okay, so direction. Okay, so again, with this new moon, just a reminder, this is about calling in new energy. It's about new things we want to have happen. It's about making space for new things to come into our lives. So if you're feeling like, you know, you need a little reset, that's what the new moons are for. So just thinking about this energy in regards to that, framing it in that way. Okay, so first I'm going to start with your tarot like usual, and then we'll clarify with your oracle cards. Okay, opening your reading, Queen of Cups. Very nice. It's overcast today, so I have my lights on, so the cards might be a little hard to see. Okay, Queen of Cups, Hanged Man, 2 of Wands, King of Wands, the Emperor, Ace of Swords, and then 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so I think just, where do I want to start? Okay, so just with this energy going to the Queen of Cups, the Hangman, 2 of Cups, so all, or 2 of Cups, 2 of Wands, all right in a row. This to me is really saying that like you feel like you're playing yourself or you can't hear some guidance around a decision you have to make. So I think this goes back again to like your direction card, the card that resonated for you that you chose group 2. So Queen of Cups is like very, very high emotional intelligence. This is like a lot of self-awareness, a lot of connection to the self, a lot of ability to be like, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it, and this is what it's going to mean for me. So that's a lot of Queen of Cups energy. But putting that right next to the Hangman, Hangman is like a card of like playing yourself. It's a card of like chosen victimhood, of like not victim blaming, but just in a place where maybe you're giving your power away, or like you feel like I can't make the best decision for myself, or I don't feel totally clear about it, or you know, whatever is going on for you there. So just knowing that, I don't, maybe you have some conflicting something, and then all of that going right into the Two of Wands, which is also about decision making. It's about like, you know, you have in his hand, oh, you have a world of possibilities, you have anything that could come, you can decide. So maybe with this direction, maybe you have to make a choice about something that maybe you didn't have to before, or it didn't seem as high stakes as before, or maybe there's something about like, maybe you've used your intuition and your natural ability in the past, but right now it feels a little challenging, right? You feel like frozen, like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to decide this. And so it just feels like, well, the hell, which one do I pick? How do I move forward with this? And like I was saying in the beginning, you know, we can't choose wrong. I know it feels like we can, you know, and like obviously we're going to be on a different timeline of reality based on what we choose. But the theme of your reading, the center of your reading, is the King of Wands. So, I mean, that just shows me that whatever you choose, you're going to end up like this king here, right? And again, this is regardless of your gender. My readings aren't gender specific, so it's just king energy. It's not necessarily male energy. But looking at this, right, just look from this one to this one. So you start with Two of Wands, you pick one, and you're still on the throne, right? You still are on the throne. So whether you chose this wand or this wand, it doesn't matter. You still ended up as a king on your throne with all these things going on for you, okay? So I think just like not, it's okay to feel like a lot of pressure to make this decision, but just remember, like, there is a choice that's for you, and based on who you are as a person and your ability to like make the best out of the situation, whatever you end up choosing, to like be present, to learn from it, to be your best self, to take advantage of other opportunities that come up in that, all of that together is going to create this. So sometimes we think, you know, things that we choose or things that happen to us make our life and make our reality, which they do, obviously, right? But so much of it is like, okay, now that I'm here, what am I doing now that I'm here? So you could pick something that looks so much better on paper, or looks like it might be the absolute best thing, but if you aren't taking advantage of that, or like using it to your full capability, or using it in a way that feels like really resonant and clear for you, in a way to like be present and honor yourself and your growth and all of that, then it's not going to feel like, you know, like it's gonna, it doesn't matter what you chose if you're gonna approach it in that way, basically, right? So this is saying like really honor your power in the situation, and really know that what you choose for yourself is going to serve you, because you're going to choose to show up to it in a way that is empowering, in a way that is, you can use everything you have access to, right? So this isn't about like more so the actual thing you choose. And so I feel like maybe that's why it feels a little off, because you're putting so much pressure on this external thing instead of knowing like, okay, obviously, like, you don't just want to accept anything, but knowing that, okay, whichever thing I do choose, it is going to serve me, because I know I can make the most of my situation, what's going on with me there. Because look, that goes right into the Emperor and the Ace of Swords. So really beautiful energy here. So the Emperor is about like tradition. It's about, you know, like ruling your life, like owning your energy. And then this Ace of Swords. So I think this is really saying, show up with like, you know, that energy I was just talking about. Show up with that energy of like, this is what I know I have to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And this is the way I'm going to like honor myself, and not feel, you know, like I need to totally just like let go of everything, right? This is like, I'm going to show up in this amazing way and do all this stuff. And like, this is my, like, just show up powerfully and empowered. And like, this is a way I'm going to honor myself and things that are for me, instead of feeling like, oh, I don't know, is this the right thing? Or can I do this? Or can I do that? Or how can I be, you know, this is really about showing up as your full empowered self. And one thing I love about the Emperor, just as a good reminder, is like in the bottom, he still has his armor on. And then on the top, he has like Emperor clothes, right? So this is really about knowing that you have at your utilization, like sometimes, you know, the Emperor clothes is more like logical mind stuff. And then the armor is more about like being in your body and making like a decision based on like physical things, or action type of thing. So this is saying like utilize all the tools you have, all the spiritual awareness you have, all the everything. This is saying knowing all of that is available to you. And so whichever you end up choosing or moving forward with, you can do that with this Emperor. And so when you're thinking about, this new thing you want to call in on the new moon, it's like, okay, well, who can I be? How can I show up to these things based on whatever's happening or what's coming up for me? And then with this Ace of Swords, swords are always about boundaries, they're always about cutting out the crap, they're always about like, this is not okay, this is okay, right? So I think this is really saying whatever you want to have come in or whatever you're trying to decide about, just know what are your boundaries around this, right? So either choice you make, either thing you choose, what is the bare minimum boundaries you want with it? So you're waiting for like this job or that job. It's like, okay, what's the salary I want? What's the vacation I want? What's this that I want? What's that I want? So just knowing that like you can only utilize this as long as you know what your boundaries are. And if you don't have a clear sense of self or your own boundaries, like you can't really help yourself to make the best empowered decision. And because what I see with that too is also your closing of your reading is Nine of Pentacles, which is very beautiful, very grounded energy, very abundant energy. And this isn't just, of course, abundance in physical reality. Sometimes people think abundance is only physical reality, but it actually is more of like an emotional state and a mindset that we can tap into of like, this is what I'm going to choose for myself. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to show up for myself. And so when you do have the Nine of Pentacles, it's important to remember that you can create abundance and have abundance while you are setting boundaries and figuring something else out in your life. So sometimes, because we are really in a society that like wants success and capitalistic gain and blah, 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 right? Sometimes you think, well, I can only be abundant when I have the house and the car and the family and the baby and the blah, 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 right? But this is just saying like you have abundance and you can tap into that no matter what's going on, no matter which decision you make, no matter what you've chosen in your life. It's like, how can you remind yourself of the abundance that you already have? And so with this new moon, maybe you want to call in some energy and set some intentions around like, please let me notice all the greatness that is already around my life. Please remind me of all the things I've already done in my life. Sometimes once we do something or get to the next level, sometimes we can be like, okay, just ignore everything I did to get here. Like, who cares? It's over. Now I got to punish myself as I move on to the next thing, right? But just remind yourself, you do have abundance. You have gone through a lot. You've conquered a lot. You've changed a lot of things in your life. And so just having space for all of that. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. Wow, these are so cute. Okay, so as everyone knows, I don't pick my cards in advance. I pick them, but I don't look at them. So I just sometimes take a moment to look at them. So I think we'll start with this one. So this is fate. It says fate. So I think this is just what I was talking about in the beginning. Sometimes we have direction and we don't know which one to choose and we don't know whatever. But again, we do have a lot of choice in our life, but I believe that there are things that happen on purpose. There are things that do find us no matter what we do. Or, if you ever had like a synchronous moment of like, oh my God, if I would have left 5 minutes earlier or later, I would have missed that particular thing, right? So it's a reminder that there are forces looking out for you. And so kind of taking some pressure off yourself to remember that like you can't choose wrong because the universe does have your back. So the universe has my back. So just remembering that, you're not alone in this. Whatever choice you make, again, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's going to be a different timeline. It's going to be like a different reality, obviously, if you take this job over this job or take this person over this person or, whatever you're doing. But just remembering that like, it's not to punish you. It's not like, can you choose wrong? It's not like you're going to ruin your whole life if you choose a particular thing over the other. Everything in life is just learning experience and a collection of like, okay, I did this, so how do I feel and all of that. Because we have the giraffe, our cute friend, the giraffe. So the bigger picture, take a step back and gather your thoughts and feelings. So this is, when we're talking about direction, it really is like tapping into your body. I feel like with this in the beginning, with the Queen of Cups and the Hangman, this was really saying to me like kind of like a disconnect from your body, a disconnect from your intuition, a disconnect from like feeling like you can hear what the advice from yourself is. So and this is really saying just, think about the bigger picture. Sometimes if we get so frazzled in the moment, then we can't hear the guidance because we're so focused on like, oh my God, what do I choose? What's going on with that? So just remember the bigger picture. Remember fate. Remember You know, again, you can even practice this prayer that's on the card. Lord, please show me the right action right now, right? Sometimes we think we know where we want to go and we can get so caught up in like this, and this step for everything when it's actually like, okay, well, I'm not supposed to know step 8, 9, and 10. I'm only supposed to know step 1. So like, please show me the right action right now. Please bring me a sign. Please show me, you know, in this way. And then this one, every emotion I feel is guidance from my adoring inner being. So yeah, this is just really saying, again, I think this energy of like really connecting to your body, really connecting to yourself. So maybe for this new moon, you want to set some intention around hearing your body clearly, knowing what your body's saying, hearing yourself clearly, just any and all of that coming forward. Just like knowing that whatever emotion you feel is giving you guidance in some way, shape, or form, right? So if you're having some resistance to something, it might not mean no right away, but just being, okay, what does that resistance mean? What could that mean for myself? What's going on within myself, right? And then the last part is be positive. Your thoughts can shape your experience, so be sure to focus on the positive. So this was just, I think, in your decision-making process. So just even affirming yourself, right? I can't choose wrong. What is for me can't miss me. My body guidance is always helping me on the next right step, right? So you can talk about it that way, but also remembering the bigger picture with our giraffe friend, but also with this direction that came up with this, just remembering that, you know, your thoughts can shape your experience. And so this is what I was talking about with like, whether you choose this wand or that wand, you're still going to become the king of wands, right? You're still going to tap into that energy. And so just remembering that, like, sometimes what we choose, it's more important how we show up to that thing and how we interact with that thing once we've chosen it, more so than the actual thing, right? Because we do have our own energy, we do have our own power, we do have this ability to shape things around us in maybe ways that we're told we don't have, just because a lot of us are encouraged to like disconnect from ourselves and from our own power. And so just really honoring, you know, our thoughts can and do shape our experience. And so this isn't like spiritual bypassing of only focusing on the positive. Like, we're not about that at all. But this is about like, okay, if I'm here and I chose this thing, what can I get out of this? Or how can I make this a situation that like I really learn from and is really impactful and important to me? Okay, so that's everything I have for you. Thank you so much for being with me. Happy New Moon. If you ever want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. Welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 3. So just a reminder, new moons are about new energy. So things you want to create or call into your life. And so putting the intention on that. And so, you know, of course, we'll get a reading with some more information on that. But this is about new energy, new, right? Which doesn't happen overnight, but there is. Okay, so this is the group that picks self-sufficiency. Beautiful card. It's overcast today, so I have my lights on, so that's why the cards are a little, can't see them as well as normal. Okay, self-sufficiency. The ultimate self-sufficiency is relying on God. That's true. Doesn't mean hiding in a cave and saying, I don't need people. Instead, it's saying, God is my source and I'm willing to receive all the help, love, and support that wants to come. Amazing, right? So this is in a lot of Abrahamic faiths and I mean spiritual spaces in general, right? A lot of what we say is like, God wants to help us, but we don't ask, right? So it's saying, so sometimes when we think I don't need anyone, like we don't want to develop codependency with people, but it is important that God is the ultimate force. God is like, can handle anything. So if you're really feeling like you need to be self-sufficient in a way of like not dependent on other people, that's fine if that's something you're working through, but just remember, you can put all that energy to God whenever you want. So I think this is really beautiful. So I think group 3, maybe if you're struggling a little bit or you're feeling like overwhelmed or things are impossible, you know, this might be a nice message for you to, ultimate self-sufficiency is relying on God. So even if you feel like you have to like do things without other people or take radical responsibility for your life, you never have to do anything in your life without God, which is like really beautiful and really nice. And comforting to me. Okay, so we're going to start with your tarot and then we will start with your oracle at the end, like usual. Wow, okay, focus. Okay, so we're starting with the star in reverse, the moon in reverse, 6 of cups, 10 of cups, 8 of cups, a lot of emotions with this group. Seven of Wands, and the Hanged Man. Okay, let's just take a deep breath, because group 3, what is going on in your lives? What's going on here? This just feels like a lot of overwhelm, a lot of turmoil, a lot of yeah, just a lot of it feels very overwhelming to me, right? So I think just going back to the self-sufficiency, if you just want to pause the video and take a moment and connect to God and ask God to come down and help you, it'd be great to do that. But let's also look at this. Okay, so Star and the Moon together and both in reverse. I just feel like you feel really out of control. You feel really disconnected from yourself. You feel like, what the hell is going on? Maybe some shattering information or event happened that just feels like, oh my God, I just can't connect to myself. I can't connect to my intuition. I can't connect to my subconscious. I just cannot get clear about anything. And that's like a lot of energy that's coming up with both of these in reverse, because upright, these are both two beautiful cards around you know, a lot of intuition, a lot of connecting to yourself, a lot of feeling clear and confident. But in the reverse, you know, it's this energy of just really not feeling connected, really feeling out of place, really feeling like what's going on. And then I think those two next to the Six of Cups, maybe you feel like this is like a card of inner child and pureness, but I feel like those two together with this one is really like, maybe you're feeling like a child, and not in a good way, right? Maybe you're feeling like powerless or feeling unsure or feeling like, how can I move forward, or what can I do for myself here? So sometimes with the Six of Cups, this is really about like inner child joy and happiness and a lot of that. And that still can be there, right? But we don't want our inner child like doing adult things for us. We want to keep our inner child alive, and it's really important to have a healthy relationship with our inner child. But we don't want to get to the point where our inner child is like, you know, making the adult decisions or doing the adult things for us, right? So I feel like with a lot of this energy, with the Moon and the Star in the reverse, this is maybe you feel totally disconnected and disempowered, like as your adult self. And so maybe you feel like your inner child or your wounding is like running the show, right? Maybe it's just a lot of hits in a row and a lot of that and a lot of just disconnect going on. So you don't feel super empowered or super clear, or I need something, take it how it resonates. But yeah, so the good news is the center of your reading is the Ten of Cups. So abundance is your birthright. Abundance is for you. There is a rainbow on the other side of this shithole, whatever's going on for you right now. So this is saying there is abundance for you, and you can create, like, you know, this is like a very stereotypical, right? Like two parents, two kids, have a house, the land, blah, blah, blah. So you don't think you need to have that as your like abundance narrative. If it's what you want, it's fine, but it doesn't have to be that. So this is really saying like, this is written for you. And if you are in this like, you know, time where maybe I feel it in my heart center a lot, like feeling really lonely or really like, what the hell's going on? Or, you know, why am I so disconnected? Why do I feel so disempowered, right? I think this is, sometimes we're given hardships in life just to, you know, connect to God more and to feel God's presence more, connect to our higher self, connect to like, and I'm not I've been there, okay? So I'm not romanticizing it. I know easier said than done when you're in it. I know it's probably annoying to hear sometimes, right? But sometimes we go through this stuff because if we are pushed closer to our faith and like exercising our faith muscle, that can be the point of these things sometimes. And our faith muscle doesn't get practiced, right? Like when everything's going exactly how we want and how everything is totally perfect according to us and the plan we decided in our mind, right? Our faith muscle gets exercised when we are being challenged, when things aren't working out for us, when we have to like reroute, and when we feel disempowered for a little bit. So I think this is saying this isn't to punish you or bad karma or you deserve it or any of that stuff. That's not the energy that is for you today. This is just saying this is just part of the process to get to here. And I think, you know, when we look at the last three cards of your reading, so Eight of Cups, Seven of Wands, and then the Hanged Man, what I'm seeing with this is like, with this new moon, I think it's really going to be about allowing yourself to process some of the emotions that you have that maybe you've been avoiding or didn't know how to process, and that's not like a blame avoidance, right? We can't do anything until our body like reminds us that it's time to do it. So, or feels like it's comfortable to do it. So this isn't like a judgment that, you know, why didn't you do this yet? And this is why you don't have the stuff yet, right? But everything happens in its own time, not our time, right? So I think this is really saying, you know, this is like a big disappointment and a sadness. And so maybe where some of this disconnect came from, or like this self-sufficiency that came out in the beginning, maybe some of where that came from is like a very big disappointment. You had to walk away from something, or someone had to walk away from you, or you had to leave something or someone, or maybe something wasn't what you thought it was, right? So there was a lot of disappointment energy that maybe wasn't felt, and maybe you're kind of dealing with a lot of like the repercussions of that, right? So you had to like make this decision, or this thing happened, and then you just had to like deal with it, like the physical reality part of dealing with it, right? Maybe of moving, of ending a relationship, of making a decision, or whatever, but there wasn't, sometimes the survival and like the processing of those things takes more importance over like the processing of emotions, because we have to live in physical reality, so we have to figure those things out. So I think this is really saying with this new moon, encourage yourself to process that disappointment, show up with new energy for yourself, maybe like holding space for yourself around what you want to release, or not be so hard on yourself about, or just like not pretending like it's not happening, right? So I think this is really honoring that disappointment energy, because sometimes if we don't do that and we don't allow ourselves to feel that, this can happen. 7 of Wands. So this is a lot of internal conflict, and this is a lot of like blaming ourselves for things instead of just realizing like we are powerful beings, but it's always God's will over our own will. And it's always like these things happen to us not to punish us, or you aren't doing something wrong, or there's nothing wrong with you if these like things that aren't ideal happen. It's just that that's part of the human experience, right? There's never going to be a time, no matter how spiritual you get, how good you get at, choosing things, that like unideal, to say the least, things happen to us. So if you have some internal conflict, or you're blaming yourself, or you're you just have a lot of back and forth, right? Part of why painful experiences can be extra painful, besides the actual experiences, because they like split our energy in different parts, and we go against each other, instead of remembering that like you can do this on your own, and you can do it with God, but you don't need to be at war with yourself. Going through a hard time is not ammunition for you to use against yourself. Okay, this is not a time for you to blame yourself, or be like, wow, I'm so stupid, I can't believe I didn't get it right, I can't believe whatever. And so this is part of the process of moving through some of these more painful things that happen. So just really honoring that, like, if you do have some internal conflict, just can you extend yourself some compassion? Can you be kinder to yourself? Can you be like, this thing happened, but now I'm not going to make it harder on myself, for myself, just because of these external things, right? And then at the end, we have the Hangman. And so I think this is the outcome of your reading, of just like, just be still. You don't need to fix it all overnight. You don't need to be responsible for every single thing. You don't need to be so self-sufficient to the point that you feel upside down and out of control, and all that. I think, just again, going back to this of self-sufficiency. Okay, you get it. Of just like, you don't need to, make things be so out of control, and maybe you just need to stop playing yourself, just tap into yourself, be patient, be kind, offer some compassion, know that Rome wasn't built in a day, things will get fixed overnight, right? This is about just really honoring yourself, and really knowing sometimes that we have to have stillness so we can reconnect to our own power here. And then eventually you're going to get through this. I just want to say that for group 3, because this feels like really intense. Okay, so I think we'll start with this one, Connect to Heart. Okay, so I think this is, again, just really saying like, really process these emotions, really be kind to yourself, really offer some loving compassion to yourself. This isn't a lot of things that feel like the end of the world. Again, we don't want to minimize them, but anything that could be taken away from you, like, you don't actually need. And again, I know there's a lot of human emotional processing with that. Like, there's a lot of ego attachments, there's a lot of blah, 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 right? That's all important, and we honor that. But just remember, like, connect to your heart. No one can take away your heart, and having a pure, clean heart is the greatest accomplishment. No matter what comes or goes, having a heart that's connected to God and trusting God in that way, like, nothing can take away the connection you have with that, like whatever's going on in physical reality. So connect to your heart and really honor that. And, this one's really beautiful. All is well, right? So I think that, when we talk about like honoring this process of these emotions and not being mean to yourself, it's a very simple thing. Just put your hand on your heart and just like feel your heartbeat, and just say to yourself, like, all is well. all is well, all is well. And again, we're not minimizing or spiritually bypassing anything that's going on, but this is just reminding you like all is well. You know, connecting to your heart. You don't have to be, you're not alone in this, right? So I think for group 3, the theme of this one is really just relying on God and a lot of powerful energies at this time. So I think with this new moon, you can tap into like, how do I want to rely on God? How do I want my relationship with God to transform? Or what is something that would help me right now with that? So just really looking at maybe some of the ways that you would feel more comfortable and confident connecting to God might be helpful for you. Because we do have the antelope card, so new pathways. Consider whether you are happy on your current path. So I'm going to go ahead and say no based on the rest of this reading. But I think this is really just about knowing that you have eventually, like, we're not, again, spiritually bypassing a human experience, but eventually, you know, we can get to the point where we can decide, okay, this emotion, I felt it for this long, and now, you know, it's kind of not as necessary for me anymore. And so consider whether you're happy on your current path. Just remember, all is well, all is well, all is well. When we feel really out of control or like we're reactionary, again, sometimes it's not as easy as just thinking a new thought, but sometimes it is, right? So just taking radical responsibility for yourself. The ego always throws a temper tantrum, but just remember, like, new pathways. We get pushed into new places and new decisions because we wouldn't make those decisions on our own otherwise. So just knowing that that is on the way. And yeah, this is, I mean, both of these cards together, this is really just something, you know, to whom much is given, much is tested, right? That's saying that's what I'm hearing with these two cards, which is, I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. So it's kind of a mouthful. So I'm going to pause the video and just look at that and read it again. Okay, but so I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. So again, connecting to God, maybe praying, maybe it's something that's helpful for you, or you want to start doing more. And then just really honoring that and knowing that, like, again, thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. So again, a lot of fear stories, and not just like I'm afraid, but it's like, oh, I lost this, or this doesn't feel good, or this isn't the best for me, or, you know, whatever. All of that can be going on. And this is just a reminder that, like, again, what I said in the beginning, this isn't to punish you. This isn't to ruin your life. This isn't to whatever. It's just, we have to go through these certain things in life. Again, not romanticizing them, but just because they're part of the human experience. If you never want to learn anything from them, that's totally fine, right? And we are not meant to be in total trauma and turmoil for our whole lives. That's not the point of being alive. But these things do happen, and so this is just saying, okay, this thing happened. Now, what if I know God loves me, right? God, regardless of popular belief, God does not punish us. God does not make our life hell. God is to help us get through those things. God doesn't make those things happen to us, right? So this is just really saying, again, this big theme of relying on God, relying on that energy. Because look at this. You are a spiritual teacher. Share your wisdom with others. You were born to teach. So maybe this is hitting a little close to home right now if you're really in the throes of it. But this is really just saying, right, like, part of why, so I'm an alcoholic and I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous, and part of why that program is so successful and why so many people resonate with it is because it's people who have gone through that and then try to extend and offer encouragement to other people. So I think this experience, whatever is going on for you with this, is really just saying these things happen so that you can take your own wisdom and be that example for other people to connect with them. So this doesn't have to be a spiritual teacher in like a traditional sense, just however it resonates for you. So maybe it doesn't have to be about your own experience. Maybe you're going through this hard time and it gets you into yoga, and then you realize you want to be a yoga teacher, or, you know, this time helped you connect to prayer and God. And so then you want to, you know, just be more spiritual in your day-to-day life. But this is saying that, you know, just really share your wisdom with others, right? You were born to teach. So just don't, anything, again, that you go through is for your highest good. And I know it sounds really trite and really annoying if you're really stuck in it right now, but this really is about just remembering, you know, anyone who I'm sure you resonated with has gone through hell and back, right? That's just part of life sometimes. And so just really remember, this is the outcome, this is the end goal, this is the theme of your reading, and all of this is for the greater good. And I know, again, that can be annoying sometimes. So if you're not there yet, you can not believe that today, and that's fine. But just remembering that, you know, with this new moon, you can just ask God to relieve some of your suffering, relieve some of the pain, just kind of, help move you into that place that you want to go. Okay, this reading got really deep. I just speak the truth. So I hope this resonated for you. I'm sending you lots of love if you were in group 3, because this is a pretty intense reading. But thank you so much for choosing to be here with me. And if you ever want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hang in there. Okay, group 3, hang in there. Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 4. So you picked the card Money. Very pretty. All my finances are now in divine order. Love itself knows my needs and is a source for all. I needn't cling to gain or fear loss. Every need will be met through offering all to the divine. Okay, so maybe we got some money problems going on here with group 4. Not problems, but we all could use extra money is the epitome of life. So I feel like if there's something you really want to surrender with this new moon, you can really set intentions around like, how do you want your relationship with money to be? Maybe you're on your healing journey and money is coming up for you. Some of our limiting beliefs around it, around needing to cling to it or fearing there's not enough, or I can't get money for what I want to do, right? I know this card says money, but I think I want to extend that. I feel like I want to tell everyone this could also be about abundance. So this isn't just about physical money, but this is about like maybe your experiences or your job or your relationships, of just, you needn't cling to gain or fear loss, right? So we don't need to be so driven to keep growing that we can't enjoy our life, or also so fearful of losing stuff that we can't enjoy the present moment. So, part of you resonated with this in some way, shape, or form. If you pick group 4, so it's overcast today, so I have my lights on, so that's why the cards are a little more shiny than usual, or harder to see than usual. But yeah, so I think every need will be met through offering all to the divine. So I think just call in some God energy, call in some surrender here, remember that like you are being looked out and cared for. And we do have our role. We do need to clean up our own patterns. We do need to clean up things that are happening in our life, but it doesn't have to be from a fearful place, is what I want to say to you. Okay, so we'll start with your tarot, and then we'll end with your oracle cards like usual. So we have Knight of Pentacles, very nice opening, and then 5 of Wands, and then 10 of Wands, okay, 3 of Wands, Ace of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, and Page of Pentacles. Okay, so what do I want to start? I always get... Okay, so look, let me just point this out right away. You start with the Knight and you end with the Page of Pentacles, okay? So I feel like this is a journey. It's always a journey, but with group 4 in particular, this is a journey specifically around like maybe your money growth, or where you want to go in your life, or creating more abundance, or having new things happen in your life. So with the Knight of Pentacles, this is like some slow moving energy. So this is Pentacles is the sign associated with abundance. So again, not just money, but just all abundance. So this is energy around like maybe you had an idea, or maybe, and you can see even this person, they're looking at the coin. So maybe you had an idea or a thought, or you wanted to have things happen, or whatever. You were so excited for all this thing, and then it just is not happening. I just feel like I'm getting this energy of like a standstill. Like it's just like something is just not happening that you want to have happen, right? So that's this energy of like, okay, I'm moving, but what's going on? And I think when we look at that, that goes into the 5 of Wands, right? So sometimes this is like a lot of conflict. This is a lot of frustration. Sometimes when things aren't happening on the path that we want them to happen, then we can just get mad and just want to start fighting with everyone and everything around us, right? We can just want to be like, wow, okay, it's like if we get irritated, like I did my part, I moved slowly, I checked all my, I checked my T's, crossed my T's, dotted my I's, right? I did all of that, but it's still not here. So I am upset, and there is going to be conflict. So this is obviously conflict with other people on the card. So maybe you're lashing out at people in your life. Maybe you're blaming yourself. Maybe, there's this energy around like feeling frustrated and pushing that outward instead of just really owning, wanting to do some self-soothing and taking care of yourself. And this might have to do with money. If we're here, maybe there's some financial stuff going on with this group. but obviously take it how it resonates. Could be about anything. But so this is a lot of external fighting or things going on. And then eventually what happens from that space is you can get to the place of you're carrying this burden, right? You're carrying a lot of this energy of like, you're working too hard, you're taking responsibility for too much stuff. So I think, you know, sometimes this can be conflict of like conflict that doesn't need to be happening, of, you know, within yourself, with things outside of you. But this can also be that then in turn turns into you being responsible for too much stuff. So maybe you're beating yourself up, or maybe you're judging yourself, or maybe, you know, you don't have some self-compassion for yourself here. So I think this is really interesting. It went from 5 to 10, so doubled really quick. So I think here, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're not careful with that frustration, sometimes that can turn into like, you know, just really feeling like you're so overwhelmed and you're carrying too much stuff, physically carrying, but also like responsibility for stuff, maybe thoughts that don't work for you or feel the best for you, right? So there's this energy of a lot of like feeling like you have to be responsible for things that you don't need to be responsible for. And so the center of your reading, the theme of your reading, is the Three of Wands. So I just think, look, this is really, you know, 5 of Wands to 10 of Wands to going right into this 3 of Wands is really just about just pick 3 of these wands, you know, just pick take the things that are important and kind of let go of everything else. So this could be, maybe you feel super overwhelmed by 10 things you need to focus on, or you have 10 limiting beliefs about yourself, or you have 10 conflicts that are going on in your life, right? Whatever is going on for you, this is really saying with this new moon, like, please ask you spirit to, or God or source or whatever, to help you focus on the 3 that really need your attention. Because just look at the energy. This is obviously very chaotic energy. This is like trudging along, very painful. Look, this person is having a break. They're looking in the distance. They're taking a moment to reflect. They're feeling calm, cool, and collected, right? So this is really energy about like, just really, again, honoring where you are and what you need to do and making a choice and choosing this feels like choosing a path to move forward. But I think what I'm hearing, step 1 of anything is to calm the hell down, right? To stop projecting, to be still, to focus back on yourself, do all that. So I think with this new moon, you can set some intentions around like, please let me see this objectively. Please let me see this with a neutral mind. Please let me not throw myself into insanity just because I feel overwhelmed by the situation or whatever is going on. So I think this is just taking a moment to be still, to reevaluate, to take some time for yourself. You know, that's really, really important, because what we see next, that flows into this Ace of Cups, which is like beautiful, 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 abundant, overflow, intuition, energy. So I think this is saying like, you know, take a step back, reevaluate, don't judge yourself, but just know that like sometimes, you know, we do need to reevaluate things. We need to have a different circumstance. We need to choose something that maybe we weren't doing before. And so when we do that, that leads us to abundance. So this is really about, you know, we see the hand of God is in there. And so this is really about just overflow of intuition, of ideas, of rebirth, of re-energy, of, you know, just a lot of this flowing. So just try and put something down for yourself, reevaluate something, release it. But just, yeah, you know, just really, I mean, just allowing this abundance to flow through you, and a lot of like intuitive energy to come through you. To take a moment to be still, to not try and do everything all at once, right? So Knight of Pentacles is about, Pentacles is very grounded, earthy energy, and Cups is about more emotion, intuitive, feminine energy. So maybe getting into a flow with something, getting more clear about the boundaries you want, and then energetically like fixing your energy, not fixing, but energetically reattuning your energy to what you want, more so than trying to force something in physical reality, which maybe is what was happening before, is you're trying to force something instead of tapping into that energy. Because these last 2 cards in your reading, very nice, 5 of Pentacles to the Page of Pentacles, right? 5 of Pentacles is about coming in from the cold. It's about like, you know, finding salvation. Obviously this card is representing physical salvation because, you know, they're in the snow and then they're going inside. But this is about like seeing that and then feeling relief and just feeling like, okay, I don't need to, you know, punish myself anymore. There is intuitive overflow here. There is a lot of like things available to me once I tap into like this intuitive clarity, abundance energy. And then what we see from this, so I think this is really saying, I think with you guys, less is going to be more here, okay, with this group, because again, we go from 5 to 10 to 3 wands, and then from here we go from 5 of Pentacles to the Page of Pentacles, right? So I think just focusing, this is, I mean, not funny, but colloquially funny, again, where we started with the Knight of Pentacles to the Page of Pentacles. So I think just focusing on one thing at a time, how can you move through this one thing at a time? Sometimes when something feels so overwhelming and like, oh my God, I know I need to get there, but how am I going to get there, right? It is one thing at a time. It is focusing on just the thing you want to have happen instead of getting distracted by all this other stuff, right? So this is about just looking at the one that's in front of you, choosing anything that's in front of you, really honoring it, giving it your presence, giving it your energy. So knowing that, like, I think with this group, you can set some intentions for the new moon around like, which things do I want to like focus on in my life? Where do I want to put my energy? What newness do I want to have in my life so I can have, you know, kind of some loving awareness around this stuff with that. Okay, so, okay, I mean, wow. Okay, so first, we'll start with this one. So withdraw. So I think this is exactly what I was talking about with this 3 of Wands here. You got to take a break. You got to relax. You got to cool it down. You got to just take some time to reevaluate. So maybe your energy is you're engaging in these conflicts or these limiting beliefs or some of these things that really don't serve you. So this is really just saying withdraw your energy, tap into yourself, curl up, take a little nap, right? Like this cute box on here. But just knowing that like you don't need to push so hard and do so hard and do all of that, right? Taking time to rest and recuperate is very essential and important. And then going along with that, we have the Monkey card, so inner child. So don't take life too seriously. So I think this is, again, the main thing, right? When we see this is really about someone head down, doing the work, caring too much, thinking, whatever, all that stuff. So this is just a reminder that don't take life too seriously. So when you are withdrawing, when you are resting, let yourself laugh, let yourself enjoy things, let yourself, you know, there is having fun to the point of like avoidance or tapping out of your life or whatever. But this is about, you know, really just honoring like rest and play are so important to the human experience and for our soul and to feel clear and happy and connected. So just, you know, if you want to do that, maybe with this new moon, just think about what can I do to like add more joy and clarity to my life, right? I think, and going along with that, I'm selfish enough to want to feel good. Okay, so I think, again, this is just, all of these cards are kind of, they all build on each other, right? And so this is really just about, you know, just knowing that when you do feel good, you are connected to like peace, to clarity, to awareness, right? There, how many times have you tried to make a decision when you feel completely out of whack or out of not connected to yourself, and then you can't hear the guidance, you can't hear the clarity, you don't know what to put down, you don't know what, you know, you need to be still and then feel good so you can connect to this abundance, and then that can lead you to like some relief. So sometimes we think, well, how can I feel good if this horrible thing is happening in my life? Well, the irony, like the seemingly ironic thing, is when we can connect to ourselves and find peace within ourselves, that's when we actually can make a better decision amidst everything that's going on, because we are selfish enough to want to feel good. So I feel like if there's a limiting belief for this people in group 4 around like, you know, I can't do this for myself, or this isn't a thing for me, or whatever, it is about just knowing, you know, it actually is very helpful, and you benefit yourself and everyone around you when you're at a more peaceful state. And then this is really beautiful. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. I surrender to a power greater than me. Nice image. And then also patience, your prayers have been heard and they are being answered. So this is what I was talking about with this funny stuff in the beginning. Just remember that you are being guided. There is a higher power for you. There are a power greater than you looking out for you. And again, if everything was simple and easy and straightforward and we didn't have to learn anything, we could all die, because there's no point to being on earth besides like soul growth and expansion and, you know, all of that. So I think, you know, surrendering to that power greater than you is really important. And also tying that in with patience, right? I think this card is about taking a moment to be still and check in with yourself and connect to yourself, but it also is about not forcing things, right? So your prayers have been heard and they are being answered. So a lot of times when we pray for something or we want something, or maybe, you know, you want your money situation figured out, we're like, okay, I thought about it for 1 second. Where is it? Like, what's going on? You know, and that's, again, part of physical reality is it is really dense here, and we do need to connect to patience energy, and just knowing like so many things in physical reality have to sort themselves out for us to be able to be honored on our path and getting there. So just having patience, taking a moment to be still, to connect with yourself, and just again surrendering your finances, surrendering your goals, surrendering this thing you want, surrendering your attachment to I can't have it because this and this, you know, any of that that's going on, just really releasing that. And you know, going back to this beautiful prayer that's on the card that you know you connected with, at least consciously or subconsciously, with group 4 of I needn't cling to gain or fear loss. So just remember, all is well, everything's fine. I'm here. I can feel good. I can have patience. I can withdraw. I can take some time for myself. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. If you want any more information about me, all that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful new moon.